An Ontario First Nation has announced plans to search the site of a former Indian residential school. The Mohawk Institute was located in Brantford, Ontario. Survivors say they are confident remains will be found, and they are calling on police to conduct a criminal investigation. Mark Hill is chief of the Six Nations of the Grand River.
Time is of an essence. Survivors are saying to move now. We have not yet received any funding from the federal or provincial governments to move this important work forward. And in fact, even further to that, we have not received an official response from our Prime Minister of our letter dated May 31st directly to his office. In fact, our community was quite disheartened to learn that our Prime Minister was in Hamilton yesterday, less than 30 minutes ago, from the Mohawk Institute, and has yet to visit this place and has yet to visit our survivors and our community.
So for more on this, let's turn now to CBC's Bobby Hristova, who joins us live from Brantford, Ontario. Bobby, what can you tell us about this search and how it would be done?
Thanks, Arthi. In terms of the search, right now, as you heard Chief Mark Hill say, no money, no response. So to start this search, Chief Hill and survivors of the former Mohawk Institute are asking for police to launch a criminal investigation into the deaths at the school. TRC records, they say, report at least 54 deaths connected to the school. So to start this criminal investigation, they want provincial and local police forces to team up with them and collaborate. The survivors said they want to lead the initiative, they want to set guiding principles, they want oversight. And the Six Nations elected council has given the survivors $1 million to kickstart the efforts. So the ultimate goal here is accountability and justice.
And we heard that survivors will play a key role as well in that search. We heard that from Chief Hill. So what are you hearing from survivors who are there?
We spoke to survivors on Monday because they told us plans to start a search were imminent, and they said a search needs to happen. Ultimately, they don't want to find anything, but of course, in light of all the unmarked graves that have been found so far, they say it's necessary. And we heard from Dawn Hill today. She gave a letter. Dawn Hill's a survivor. She and her sister both went to this school. She gave a letter to the Six Nations police chief, which just highlighted some of the abuse that's gone on. And it's alleged that people died because of this abuse. So survivors ultimately want action, and they want answers.
And of course, we are continuing to hear more and more about these searches that are taking place and discoveries. So what stands out about this one in Brantford, Ontario?
Well, the former Mohawk Institute residential school is one of the oldest and longest running residential schools in Canada. Survivors and Chief Mark Hill said some 15,000 students went here. It opened in 1828 and ran until 1970. It had been relocated once. It had been burned down twice. Some students had burned it down, we heard today. And ultimately, when the government took it over in 1945, more of the alleged atrocities were still going on. And so since it closed in 1970, it's now become the Woodland Cultural Center. So it's now a place to learn about Indigenous history in residential schools. And the provincial and federal governments recently offered a cash injection of more than $9 million to restore the building and open it up as a National Heritage Site so people can come here and educate themselves.
All right, thank you for this. That is the CBC's Bobby Hristova in Brantford, Ontario.